We're set, sir.
All right. Welcome to City Council. Please call the roll.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
White.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Ely. Here. Godwin.
Here.
Norris.
Here. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's just a roll call for everybody. All right, thank you. Approval of the minutes. You should have all received a copy of the minutes. Any additions or corrections? If not, those will stand as approved. Approval of the current financial report. Should have received a copy of that. Need a motion to approve. So moved. Motion by Mr. Brown to approve the current financial report. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
All right, moving on, approval of the agenda. I don't think we have anything to add, so we need a motion to approve.
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to approve the agenda. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Brown.
Here.
Ely.
Yes.
I'm rubbing off now.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
All right, moving on to public hearing. Anyone wishing to address council, please step forward, state your name.
Hi, I'm Parker Francis. I am in the Darke County Civic Theater's upcoming production of Rotten Apples. On behalf of all of the members, I would like to personally invite all of you and the community to come enjoy the show together. For the discounted $8 price, you can order tickets using this QR code, or you can go to Darke County Civic Theater's Facebook page. For $10, you can buy tickets at the door. The show is at Memorial Hall and on March 16th at 7 p.m. and March 17th at 2 p.m. If you bring this postcard to any of the performances, you will be entered into raffles for great prizes. Make sure you write your name on it. Come join everyone for laughter, suspense, and an overall great time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Parker.
Thank you.
Well done.
Could you pass?
So Parker, do you have a role in this?
Yes.
All right, so are we gonna, like you as a goodie or are you a baddie?
You gotta come watch.
Just say yes.
Thank you for coming.
All right, anyone else wishing to address council? If not, we're going to move on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Mike Powers and the Darke County Economic Development for this new small business resource guide that they've developed. It's a very all-inclusive guide to, it's got a small business checklist to give information on what's needed to make sure you got financing information and so forth, and it's a guidance on federal state loan procedures and so forth, listing the number of programs that are available, and this is available at the Darke County Economic Development Office in the building at the corner of 5th and above the coffee pot. So again, this is something that was developed and worked on for a while by Darke County Economic Development. I just want to thank them for doing that. Second of all, went to a breakfast this morning. Darke County DD, they gave us some very good news that they got a $550,000 in grant funding approved for Darke County. They got the 7th most of all the counties in the state of Ohio. And what they're going to do with it is fund universal changing tables. We're going to be putting one in Yolo Park, but there's going to be a couple of others throughout Darke County. And they're going to install a wheelchair ramp and a wheelchair lift, some paved pathways throughout, and equipment to include developmentally disabled people throughout the county. So this is going to allow some accessibility barriers in our communities that are addressing that. And there was no local matching funds required, so it was a straight grant from the state, and it's going to be very well utilized for developmentally disabled. I also want to mention, I don't know if anybody's aware of this or not, but throughout the state of Ohio, at rest areas throughout the state, there's 28 adult changing tables been installed throughout rest areas around the state. So what that does is it makes statewide travel a possibility for those with those that need those changing tables. So it's a very good thing that the state's done. I want to also mention that I went to 2 events at Greenville High School Friday and March the 1st. The first one was a Career Tech stakeholders meeting to discuss the need to educate for technical careers, and that was a very well-attended meeting. And also, I went there to present a proclamation celebrating National Engineers Week, and they also had a contest. It was a crane building competition using balsa wood. And what they did is they attached the crane to a base, and then they hooked a bucket, and they just kept adding sand to it to see how much weight it could hold. And the formula they use is the weight of the crane itself divided by the number of grams of sand that poured in there. And it was a very interesting competition. Last year they had a bridge building contest, and it really emphasizes the engineering career that one can enjoy and have. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for being here, and I will pass.
Thank you. Moving on, Mr. Safety Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some project updates for this evening. First, 502 project. We've been talking about this one for a very long time. So if you've driven that way, most of the sidewalks and curbing has been installed. They started doing grass repairs this week. They have the section out at the plant that now they have to tie it all back together. So what has happened is they put a temporary line in so the city still gets fed, and then starting as early as tomorrow, and they're estimating 2 to 3 weeks, then they'll install that last section to tie it all together. So once that happens, besides cleanup and valve adjustment and things like that, we'll be down to just the asphalt portion, and we're waiting on the asphalt plants to open up to get that project completed.
Great.
Phase 1 sidewalk project, contractor has, I think, 2 more properties that have to be addressed to finish that up. So right now we're going back through and checking up on all the work and working on pay apps, and then we're going to be putting invoices together this month to send out to the homeowners to give them an option to pay versus being assessed. It won't get assessed until August. And then phase 2, they have until April 1 to have their sidewalks either repaired. At that point, we'll go out and start to mark everything in phase 2, which is over kind of east side of Greenville by the K-8 school. And then we'll send that project out for bids yet this year, and that project will start probably late summer.
Very good.
Schweitzer Street project, and we've talked about that a little bit. We're getting started on it, or have started on the plans. We had next month, I believe it's April 24th, we have to present to ODOT what they call their 30% design plans. So with those 30% design plans, then ODOT puts together us a flyer with kind of questions and answers, and then we can go out and discuss it with all the property owners on Schweitzer, what it'll look like, what the project timeline is, and work through any kind of issues that we have out there as we move that project along. The new water tower east, that's going out in the industrial park. We've had our initial kickoff meeting of that to start all the design for the water tower. There's a lot that is going on to that, so we have a lot of details to work through, but still plan to have that completed, the design completed by the end of 2024, and with the goal to start construction beginning of first quarter of 2025. Let's see, solids handling, we, mid-March, we're going to have our 60% design completed on that. So a similar timeline, we'll submit into 2024, send that out for bids with the plan to start that project in early 2025. And then last but not least, just a little bit of a transit update. I know, we went to county transportation, so everybody's wondering how that's going. It's going well. In the month of February, we did 239 county trips. So those either started or ended in the county. And then a program that Mrs. Benji, who is over transit, has really kind of pushed is Agency on Aging to get people signed up for that funding source. And we went from 2 to, I think she has over 100 now that are signed up for that Agency on Aging. Wow. And they did 855 trips in the month of February for the Agency on Aging. So transit's booming right now, very busy. And with that, I will answer any questions, but I will pass.
Can you just give me an overview of the Schweitzer Street project? I'm sorry, I think I've slept since your last report on that one.
You're fine. So Schweitzer Street project is, so long story short, it started about 3 years ago with what ODOT calls a systematic safety study. So they hire a consulting engineering firm, they go out and do a safety study, and they found that it was unsafe to have 2 lanes on each side with no turn lane in the center. So that kind of starts it. We originally had hoped to do from Fair to the corporation limits. ODOT, once we kind of got into the submittals, ODOT didn't like how we were going to have to address some of the problems that we were going to have between Fair and Burt, so they asked us to remove that. So we did. So the project then was submitted from Burt to the corporation, which we've received 2 grants so far, and it's all part of it. It's all part of the process. You have to go through this safety study to get to the grant portion. So right now we sit at about $4.8 million in grant funding that we have allocated. The total project cost is up around $8 million. So I have a lot of work to do on grants to make up that difference, but it's a work in progress. We're going to go after some OPWC funding and some permissive funding. And then we're also using what we call urban paving dollars to pave it once the project is complete. So basically this is probably more of the question you had, but
That's exactly
basically
what I
from
wanted.
Burt Street to the corporation limits, it'll be a road diet, so it'll go from 4 lanes to 2 lanes with a center turn lane. They'll add curbing, a sidewalk to each side, a 6-foot each side. One will go on the west side, it'll go all the way out to the Corp, which is basically out to Stardust Hotel, trailer court area. On the east side, it'll only go to Council on Real Services or CAP, just because that's the corporation limit at that point. And then it'll be new asphalt, green space, street lighting similar to what we put on North Broadway and 4th Street.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the information.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions? If not, we'll move on to Law Director, Mr. Reaman.
Yep, for me this evening, I don't have anything in specific, but I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has about legislation.
All right, thank you. Moving on, Auditor, Mrs. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I don't have anything, well, I do. I want to congratulate Nikki Monin. She'll be our new personnel clerk in our office. She will be starting in 2 weeks, so we're excited to welcome her aboard. And other than that, I don't have anything else. If anyone has any questions of me, I'll be glad to answer.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Moving on, committee reports. We have one out of the utility committee.
Honorable members of council, the Utilities Committee hereby submits our report. The Utilities Committee met on February 23, 2024 at 9 a.m. to discuss waiving the $60 permit fee for all phases of the sidewalk project. It was discussed that the curb, sidewalks, and approaches would be included in one permit, and resident property owners would still need to complete all required paperwork for the permit and required bond. After further discussion, it was decided that the $60 permit fee would be waived for residential property owners for the replacement of curbs, sidewalks, and concrete in the right-of-way. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Utilities, Clarence Godwin, Chairman, Chris Norris, Vice Chairman, and Brian Brown, Member.
Move to accept the committee report.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to accept the committee report. Discussion?
Yeah, I asked Dennis, I said, how many permits have we done in like 2021, 22, and 23 for the year? And 2021, we did 22 permits, which was $1,320 in permit fees. Then 2022, there was 23 permits issued, that was $1,380. Then in 2023, there was 35, which was $2,100 is what the city took in for permits in 2023. So I just figured that the reason I asked Mr. Baumgartner to do that is to try to get people to encourage to maybe step up this 11-year process to get somebody to start doing it earlier. And price of concrete's still going to keep going up, and maybe this will help residential people out a little bit and try to get some stuff fixed early.
Very good. Any other comments? All right, motion before you to accept the report. Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
All right, moving on to ordinances and resolutions. First, we have a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. The supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the general fund and CIP fund in the sum as follows. Transfers, elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $25,000. These funds are needed for transfer to replace a door in the fire department. Office supplies, police in the amount of $2,277. These funds are a refund from COLIA for unused funds during the police department's assessment. New light poles in the amount of $5,000. These funds are needed to replace a light pole due to an accident. General government, new equipment in the amount of $25,000. These funds are from the Fire and Life Safety Donation Program and will be used to complete a door replacement at the fire department.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance or read it by title only, second, third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
Move to adopt the ordinance?
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
Just
Yeah.
want to,
The fire department, $25,000. Is that doors or door?
Doors, overhead doors.
so it's
Not
two
one
doors.
door. It's 6 doors, 5 doors? I think it's 5 doors.
Okay.
That doesn't cover the entire cost, but the fire department has a donation line and donations have been given, so that's a portion of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have Mr. Brown, you were next, sorry.
Oh, same question.
Okay. All right, my question is, I see on the light poles, $5,000. That was due to an accident. Do we assess insurance companies or the person that caused the accident? Do they get?
Yes, so we invoice all insurance companies. If they don't have insurance, they don't pay, then Mr. Riemann does a legal action against. This is just to get the money moved, to get the light pole ordered, because they're 10
That part I
to 12 weeks
understood.
out,
I did-
and so we can get it back up.
Does the money get moved back once the legal issue's done?
It just goes back into the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
Does it take a little while to get those light poles?
Yeah, I think the last one we ordered took 12 or 15 weeks.
Because the one up here on the circle seemed like it's been out for a while.
Yeah, we're still waiting on a bunch of them, and then they just hit another one the other night.
How many does $5,000 buy?
Oh, one.
Oh, it said poles here, that's why.
Yeah. Should have been doors and pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to number 2, a resolution for mayor to enter into contract with ODOT.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for a transit subaward grant. This resolution authorizes the mayor to enter into a contract with ODOT for a state GRF discretionary funding CY 2023 subaward grant agreement that provides the city with $50,000 additional funding.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules and give this resolution a second and third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for a transit subaward grant. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for a transit subaward grant.
Let's move to adopt. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
All right, moving on, number 3, we have ordinance for rezoning.
An ordinance rezoning 14.2 acres of property located on 121 for Jeffrey Serber and Jessica Ann Serber and James P. Serber and Carla G. Serber Revocable Trust. This ordinance rezones 14.2 acres of property on State Route 121 owned by Jeffrey, Jessica, James, and Carla Serber from GB General Business to PUDR Planned Unit Development Residential.
Move to suspend the rules. Go ahead.
Suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second, third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
An ordinance rezoning 14.2 acres of property located on 121 for Jeffrey P. Serber and Jessica Ann Serber and James P. Serber and Carla G. Serber Revocable Trust. An ordinance rezoning 14.2 acres of property located on 121 for Jeffrey P. Serber and Jessica Ann Serber and James P. Serber and Carla G. Serber Revocable Trust.
Move to adopt. Motion by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
No.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
No.
All right, moving on, number 4, we have an ordinance to establish a transit reserve fund.
An ordinance to establish a transit reserve fund. This ordinance establishes a transit reserve fund in order to maximize the money available for the transit system and will not exceed 40% of the transit budget.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
An ordinance to establish a transit reserve fund. An ordinance to establish a transit reserve fund.
It's quick.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
We have an idea of what we're starting at with it, or is it just gonna go straight to 40%, or?
We're starting with 0.
Just gotta create the fund.
We're
Okay.
establishing it.
Very good.
So basically what this allows you to do is, just like any other fund, have a reserve section. So how transit works is 50% is funded by shares and, or when I say fares, fees, when people are paying to ride, and then the city supplements that, and then we have contracts, and then 50% is funded by ODOT. So for easy math here, we'll say if 1 month it's $100,000, and on our end we collected $60,000, then how it's set up now, we have to pay our 60, and then ODOT only reimburses us, or gives us 40,000. With this reserve fund, we will be able to take that 10,000 and put in the reserve fund to say for a rainy day, a vehicle purchase, or any operating expenses as well, and they'll maximize it. So if we collect 50,000 or 60,000, we put 10 in, and then they grant us 50,000.
So we should be able to put money into the reserve fund on a monthly basis.
That's the hope to get to.
I didn't say hope, I said that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Does the revenue stream support that, is the question?
Some months it will, and when I say $10,000, I'm nowhere near that.
I understand.
And it also, one thing you can take advantage of things like this when ODOT comes out with different grant funding, or they have extra money left over, they're very giving on the transit side of things, and those are the times then that we can put that money away. But it's just a savings account basically at the end of the day, where now, if we don't have that, we just eat it. And ODOT only pays the portion to cover up to the rest of the 100%.
What does it cost the city to run that transit system? I mean, above and beyond fares, separate from what we typically get in.
So the city currently puts $70,000, I think was the budget this year, into the transit fund. And then the rest is through grants and the share or fees and contracts.
Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, number 5, we have an ordinance approving 3 hours pay to city employees on April 8th.
An ordinance ratifying and approving 3 hours of pay for all city employees for the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. This ordinance approves 3 hours to be paid to all city employees on April 8th, 2024 due to the full solar eclipse expected over the city at 3 p.m.
Move to adopt the ordinance, or move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
An ordinance ratifying and approving 3 hours of pay for all city employees for the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. An ordinance ratifying and approving 3 hours of pay for all city employees for the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion? What's the details on this?
Yep, so this is what we had talked about last meeting, and so in dealing with the personnel, we're gonna close the building early because of how we deal with vacation and accruals. The only way was to figure out how to pay people, and then to be equitable was to pay everyone, and so here we are.
All right.
So what's the monetary value of this?
I didn't calculate it.
Well, okay.
3 hours pay for the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that part.
Any other discussion? All right, call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
White?
No.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Okay, that concludes the ordinances and resolutions. Moving on to new business. Anything more? Moving on to old business. Nothing there. Council Representative Outside Committee, Architectural Review Board. Who's that?
That was me.
All right.
I missed the meeting due to a doctor's appointment. However, I talked to the mayor, and he said that the Cream de la Cream sign was the only thing that was approved at that thing, and I believe they've been open. I've not yet got to go there, but
They are.
looking forward to that.
Neither. They're gonna do well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Communications.
We received the monthly report of February from the income tax and the 2023 annual report from the Dark County General Health District.
Very good. Let's call down the council.
Rogers?
I appreciate everybody coming up tonight, the department heads that's here, and with that, I'm going to pass.
Schmidt?
I will pass.
White?
I'll pass.
Brown?
Pass.
Ely?
Well, I'm not gonna pass. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to have just a brief conversation. I know some of you are here because of the legislation changing the zoning. I know some of you were here for maybe that reason. This legislation tonight, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Reaman, was just to change it to this PUD. It doesn't sanction anything being done as of yet, because we don't have anything being done we got an interested party. So I just wanted to let those people I know, make me aware that they might be coming for that. It's the zoning that we changed tonight. And then if something is, I have a feeling there's something in the works, but we haven't seen it yet. So I just wanted to put that out there. So when it comes up, you'll have to check your agenda and come back again if you have some comments.
So and just to clarify, that's not accurate.
Well, I mean, it is the changing of the
It's the
zoning.
changing of the zoning, but when you do a planned unit development, part of that was they had preliminary said this is what they're gonna do for the parcel. And so while there could be some changes, the parcel has in theory been approved for roughly 50 units of apartment living.
But it still has to go through the process.
It's gotta do their final development plans, yes, but that won't come to council, that'll go through planning and zoning.
Planning, and that's all I was trying to allude to, that it has a process.
So there are more details to go through, but
Thank you for the clarification.
But none of that will come back to council.
it should not.
Godwin,
Pass.
Norris,
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming tonight in attendance, and hopefully we can wrap this up and get out of the freezer box. Wow. With that, I'll pass.
We need a remote.
No kidding.
Where are we going?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. I think you can do it, Gabe.
I'm gonna give it to Mr. Rogers. Discussion? Call the roll?
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Yes.
Healy,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Can we get a remote here?
Thank you. Have a good evening.